production. Okay? You always have to figure in your mind temperature. All right? Temperature is very crucial. So when we pass through the summer months, which is extremely hot, you get into September, where the days get short, the nights get a little bit cooler. So we usually recommend you start your production in the tunnel house. Get your cool season crops, which is mainly collards, turnips, mustard, kale, no later than September 1. I mean the first week in September, sorry. All right? That allows you 4 to 5 days for your crop to mature. 4 to 5 days. And I'm not saying this lightly, this is done years of research I have, data I have that back this up. So if you start the first week in September, then your first harvest of collards, let's just pick collards as a model crop. Your first harvest of collards will be ready by the ending of October. Somewhere in between there. You crop the leaves. Now, when you grow in collards in the tunnel house, you don't go there and whack the whole plant. Okay, you crop the leaves. Now, you don't go and strip the plant buck naked. All right? You don't strip the plant buck naked. You take off 50% of the leaves, starting from the bottom of the plant. The bigger leaves are always at the bottom of the plant, collard plant, as you move up. Now you might say, well, I ain't got time to count and figure out which 50% of the leaves. Well, I'll give you a rule of thumb. 7 leaves per plant. 7 leaves per plant would account for about 50% of the leaves, because the plant would have about 14 to 15 leaves. And how I know that? I counted it. I counted it. So when you crop at the ending of October, guess what? By Thanksgiving, which is one of the biggest foodie days in this nation, right? Mm-hmm. At Thanksgiving, boy, we throw out, right? Your colors will be ready for that market.
Yeah.
And if you count the time there, it would be about 15 to 18 days. That is how fast the crop will recover. It recovers that fast because you have what? You have the ideal temperature. And you put the water, and you put the fertilizer, and the rest is going to take care. Yeah. Like I said, God will then take care of it. You know, most of us say, well, when we face with difficulty, we say, I leave it up to God. God ain't gonna help you. I'm gonna tell you something. When you did everything that you could do, then you deserve a blessing.
Yeah.
Okay? It happens to me, so I can testify to that. When I sit down and be lazy and drop my foot, nothing happens. So within 15 days, 15 to 18 days, your collard leaves would rejuvenate. Okay? The trick in that is, as you take off the older leaves from the plant, you see the older leaves do not contribute to the growth of the plant. The younger leaves at the top is where the active growing is taking place. So you actually did the plant a favor when you knock off all those older leaves. And by Christmas, which is the biggest foodie day, right? You're ready again to harvest. And at New Year's, you have enough time in there to scrape together a crop for New Year's. And you know, after New Year's, everything what? Peter's done. Okay? Yep. Well, here is where the processing plant would come into play. Because those collards are still growing in your tunnel house. Right? They haven't stopped growing because it's Christmas. Christmas is over, New Year's is over. They haven't stopped growing, they still grow. but you don't have a market. Here is where it will be helpful. So you can still get that income stream in the farm. And depending where you are, you got to pay them taxes by this December 31st on your land.
Yeah.
You got to pay those taxes. So you need that income. Now, the coldest months of the year would be November, December, January, and start to lighten up by February, but February is still basically cold. So the gentleman who asked about the peas, snow peas, that's a crop now that we have scheduled to come in by the ending of February, going into March.
But I was wondering.